Hello, everyone. Just 2 days after the Leo full moon, which was quite stressful because you may remember that there was a T-square between the full moon and Jupiter at its apex. We have a Mars-Mercury conjunction, which is not such a big deal because considering the fact that Mars orbits around the sun for 2 years and Mercury for 88 days, so it occurs quite often. It could occur at least twice a year, sometimes 3 times. So this is something that you can see quite often. And as an aspect, however, it could be quite stressful, especially when you have it in a square or an opposition, because that represents wounding or being wounded through words. Okay, this is a conjunction, however, and with a conjunction, it's not such a horrible thing to have. Actually, I have a square, so I would gladly exchange it to a conjunction, because the problem with the square is that squares are high impact aspects, and they constantly give you an issue. And every time you are being threatened, you fight through words. And what happens is that you realize after a while that you're wounding a lot of people that you love. You don't want to wound them, so you start learning to refrain yourself. And but the problem is that every really stressful situation will bring it out from you. So it doesn't matter how much you work on it, you can be very conscious about it, you still have it there. And from time to time, you are going to wound people unless you want to be wounded. If you have a cardinal square, you definitely wound. And if you have like a fixed square, you get the wounding, unfortunately. But this is a conjunction, so we will delineate it a little bit differently. Let's say that it simply means that you will fight with words, or you will fight for your expression. It simply means that you have a weapon in your hand, and of course, words could be weapons, could weaponize. But at the moment, this particular conjunction is a lot more than that. And if you look around, by the way, you will see how everywhere people are standing up for their rights. They are fighting they're fighting against their governments. Look at Germany. The problem is that legacy media, mainstream media, doesn't really report this. Try to find alternative sources and try to see what's happening. A lot of people are up in arms and revolting against what's happening in their countries. And so there is hope. And just to give you a perspective, the World Economic Forum just finished their little session this year in Davos. And even last year, I started to have this feeling that maybe this is a joke. I mean, these guys are a joke. I mean, come on, no one in their right mind can believe them. But of course, if you look at the guests and look at them, there are 1,600 big corporations, giant corporations, and big banks, and your very own Charles III is also always there, and next to Klaus Schwab, who, by the way, must have done something to his face because now he has a baby face. A couple of years ago, he was really heavily wrinkled. So is his wife, who is a horrible creature. And now, all of a sudden, he has this baby face. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he had a facelift or something ridiculous. And there were ridiculous moments. And if we look back to the summit, what do you call it, the Green Summit in Dubai a couple of weeks ago. That was a joke as well. I mean, the people went there in their private jets and were talking about how they are going to police us, not to eat this and not to work that and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, even that was a joke. Even even the ones who are really, really supporting this whole idiocy were like a little bit reserved in telling what was going on because nothing happened really. And this year's World Economic Forum was like a real joke. And even, I mean, if there were really interesting moments, for instance, when one of the guys who were speakers, who was a speaker there, I think it was the Iranian Secretary of State, who simply told the whole gathering to fuck themselves. Excuse my language. It was a direct quotation, and all you could see is that Schwab just jumped up and walked out of the room, and it was funny. So these people are jokes, really. The problem is they have really a lot of money, too much money, and too much power. But believe me, together, the people have a lot more power. I have seen this many, many times in history. Has seen it many, many times. So this is the chart for London. So the triple and it's actually a triple conjunction, so, although a fourfold conjunction. I will show you why. But at the moment, you have, this is the exact to the minute conjunction of Mercury and Mars, which will occur on January the 27th at 14:58, as I said, London. This is the London chart. And a number of things are happening. First of all, the Mars and Mercury are also conjunct the dark moon, which is the second turning point of the Lilith myth, when Lilith goes away from the Garden of Eden and takes upon herself Yahweh's curse. So it's accepting the curse. That's what Dark Moon Lilith is about. And I'm always trying to make it very, very sure that it's not like being cursed. So if you have a dark moon somewhere prominent in your chart, don't be scared. It doesn't mean that you were cursed. Yeah, it could mean that. But it's like I'm accepting it consciously. So it's a huge difference, because it means that, okay, I will do what I need to, what I want to, what I know it's right. And you can curse me. I don't care. I simply don't care. If you want to curse me, you can go ahead and curse me. So that's the idea behind Dark Moon Lilith. And also, accepting the curse. It's funny. If I look back into my life, I was cursed a number of times, and there was only one serious occasion, and it happened in a doctor's office. And funnily, it was after my very first and last mammogram, what is it, examination, which it's horrible, and I will never, ever do it again. And the female doctor, it's funny because I simply worded my different, so I have a different opinion. Okay, I begged to differ, so to speak. So I said, I don't believe in this. I don't think whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that I was turning around. She was actually quoting a myth, which I'm not going to repeat at the moment, because it doesn't mean it's not important at the moment. But anyhow, so she was telling this about this myth as a point of reference, and it really made me angry, and I said to her, no, it's not going to happen to me. And I turned my back, and I was walking. I said goodbye. I was walking out of the office, and all of a sudden I could feel that she was throwing something against me, and since it was in my back, it went in fully and completely. So by the time I got home, I was sick with the flu, actually, and I was really sick for 3 days. And much later in my life, something happened around that curse, which was linked to the myth, which made me think that this was a really powerful attack, because otherwise, if it's face to face, I send it back, really. This was the only occasion when it really went in, and went in very deep. So this is not it. So the dark moon Lilith is something else. It means that, okay, I'm face to face. I know what's happening. I take full control and full responsibility, even if you curse me. That's what Lilith means in the dark moon Lilith, and which is exactly conjunct now with Mars and Mercury. Interesting enough. And this is what you see in the outside world. People are finally voting. They are fighting against their governments, even if the mainstream media is not reporting it. What else is there? Juno is exactly on the IC. Chiron and the North Node are getting closer to each other. There will be a conjunction in first week of February or something like that. And then Uranus is stationary direct. So Uranus has just turned on that day, which means that finally the change is going to be in the outward world, and not in. So it's not going to be an inner change; it's going to be an outer change. That's practically it. And let's take a look at this beautiful configuration. Actually, you will notice if you take a look at the, I didn't have the time to put in the exact degrees, but Juno is a bit off the degree because everything is at around 17, 18 degrees and Juno is at 21, but it is retrograde. And with Mercury, Mars, and Chiron North Node, you do have a dissolution to the karmic, to the triple cardinal karmic cage that you have here with the nodes, Chiron and Mercury, Mars, and Dark Moon exactly at the apex. So that's it. And it's an interesting moment in time because first of all, the North Node means what our destiny choice is for the time for this period. And this is to learn to fight. I keep telling this, you need to learn to fight. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to learn to assert yourself. And Mars is ruling this conjunction, the Chiron North Node conjunction. And it means that you need to verbalize what you are standing for, and you need to learn to fight and to get rid of those karmic wounds that are accumulating. And there's also a cardinal Earth engine with Juno IC. The IC is what really closes it and makes it tighter because it's at 20 degrees and Juno is at 21 degrees. But as I said, it's retrograde. So actually, this is a bit loose but tightening, applying the trine, triple trine again, because Mercury and Mars and Dark Moon go forward and Juno goes backwards. So it's doubly getting tighter. And there's also a little engine in the London chart only because the midheaven makes a sextile to the Mercury-Mars Dark Moon conjunction and again dissolves this T-square, this karmic cage. The karmic cage is always, it's a T-square with the nodes, and it gives you the chance to learn what your destiny is in order to get rid of the excesses of the South Node, because it's very easy to get into the mood of the South Node. In this case, it's Libra. Let's comply. Let's be nice. Let's be smiley, diplomatic. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's not anger the powers that be. No, this time we need to fight. We need to learn to assert ourselves through words and through every other potential that is available to us. That is what this triple conjunction is representing. And here are the transcendental celestial objects. I'm going to leave the triple conjunction last. So let's take a look at the Mars, the North Node Chiron, ruled by Mars, okay, conjunction. You have 3 asteroids there. Those who are watching my videos just now or lately, these transcendental celestial objects are always color-coded. Now we don't have any centaurs and TNOs, but they are usually blue. Or the asteroids, which represent the personal karmic layer, are always magenta or purple. And the fixed stars, which are not of this solar system, they are universal, so they are higher dimensional worlds where the soul, which is a multi-dimensional being, can also go to or incarnate, and we can learn there things that we can't learn on the earth plane. So those are the fixed stars. They are always in red. Okay, so on the Chiron and the North Node, you have Lucifer, Epimetheus, and Dionysus. Lucifer is the light bringer. You know, there is the creator goddess, and there are gods and goddesses that are creating eras or creators of eras. And Yahweh is an era creator god, not the creator god. There's no such thing as a creator god. To give life is a feminine prerequisite. Sorry, guys. You won't be able to have a woman. You won't be able to deliver. You can call yourself, if you are born a woman, yes, you will have a womb. You can then turn yourself into a man if this is what you prefer. You're still, by chromosomes, you're still a woman. Okay, and then you can deliver a child. Otherwise, if you are born with XY, you won't be able to deliver a child, at least not in natural circumstances. Anyhow, so Yahweh is an era creator only. And as an era creator, he needed someone who was questioning his authority, and that is Lucifer, the light bringer, who is bringing light to certain nuances, let's put it this way. And of course, later on, he was called the devil, of course. And then there's also Epimetheus, who is the brother of Prometheus. His name means the one who knows afterwards. And it means that in karmic astrology, it is an archetype that tells you to understand what happened and then draw conclusions in order that you learn in the process. And Dionysus, of course, is altered states of consciousness, the Lord of wine and ecstasy. So again, it gives you the potential to understand something from a higher dimensional perspective. On the south node, you have Shiva and Victoria. Shiva, which is the destroyer in the Trimurti, and it means that, yes, there are things we need to destroy, things that don't work, things that they want to push on us, which are completely unnatural, like eating worms and using electric vehicles in -20. Yes, good luck with it. And Victoria means that, yes, we can win. We can win. On the midheaven, on the other hand, you have Tantalus, deep sorrow. So this whole process, at least for Londoners, will somehow include some sort of punishment or deep sorrow, hopefully not too much. And on Juno, you have Danabola, which is Beta Leo. The whole constellation of Leo is about ruling and becoming a sovereign. And Danabola is the instinctual ruler. It's the tail of the celestial lion. And the IC has Nyx. You will see that there's a 1 degree between the IC and Juno. And fixed stars have a 1 degree orb, so that's why they are not. Nyx is the IC has Nyx, and Nyx is the night. And so Juno is already a bit wide for it, but Danabola is on Juno, but not on the IC. So that's it. Juno, of course, is the wife archetype, the first lady archetype. And Beta Leo means the instinctual ruler. Okay, and then the Mercury Mars dark moon triple conjunction has Gratia, grace, eternal grace, yes, or amazing grace, you can say that. Horus, the first pharaoh, the one who is fighting with darkness, Seth. Xerxes, who was a general, victorious and then not victorious general, and Rukbat, Alpha Sagittarius, which I'm going to show you where it is. Now, there are 2 centaurs in the sky. One is Chiron, which is Centaur, the Centaur constellation, which is in the southern hemisphere. You won't be able to see it either from London or from Budapest. And there's another Centaur, but it is not the wounded hero. So this is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the signal, the signature of those people who were riders and they were shooting arrows. For instance, the Scythians, the Huns, the Hungarians, the Etruscans, I think even the Basques, I'm not quite sure, but I think they belong to the same group of people who were ruled by Sagittarius. You need to understand 2 things. First of all, we Hungarians, Scythians, Hungarians, Huns are the same ethnic group. We were taught to ride before we could walk. So a baby who was half a year old and could already sit, they simply put him on top of a horse. They tied him to the horse, and he learned to ride before he learned how to walk. And this is one thing. So really, when other people who weren't horse riders looked at these horse riding people from the distance, they thought that these were mythic animals because they seemed to be one. Here's the root of the centaur legend. And then the other thing you need to remember is the fact that to shoot an arrow, to be able to kill someone from a distance was really an ancient super weapon, because you could wound or kill someone without being hurt, being even the chance wasn't even there. So this is a very complex symbol, and Rukbat is the alpha star. And Bernard Brady speaks about Rukbat. I think she uses the word steadiness and strength. So it has got nothing to do really with Chiron's knee, because that's the knee of the celestial archer, and we should really call it archer and not centaur, because it's the archer. So it's the archer image that is important in in this instance, because Chiron's wound is in his knees. And this is where he gets his eternal wound. And the problem is that it's a deadly wound. But of course, he is a half divine, so he is unable to die, but also unable to heal, because a deadly poison gives you eternal pain. So that's the symbol of the wounded hero. But this is an archer, and an archer needs steady feet, steady legs. And the knee there means where you steady yourself. So it is really how you aim at something and how you steady yourself in order to do that. And our Mars Mercury dark moon Lilith is on Rukbat. So the triple conjunction is on Rukbat. And it means that in these upcoming days, where this conjunction is still intact, and the days that afterwards, where it's already separating but still there, you will be able to steady yourself and say what's necessary, fight through words, even if you accept the curse that others are throwing upon you. So this is the space-time moment. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I have a lot of videos out there in English and in Hungarian as well. I yet don't know how to separate my channel. I need to split my channel. I have no idea how to do this. I need to ask someone. And once it is, you can actually just subscribe to the English version. Until then, please, if you like them, throw a like. And if you have any questions, please don't ask about personal placements, because this forum is not compatible with questions like this. But if you have anything to say about the space-time or any placement in the chart that I'm showing you, they are always welcome. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.